All right, welcome everyone. It's officially time to start Stretch with a Leader today. We have Jim Ritchey here with us. And Jim, if you would tell us a little bit about your role with Intermountain, and then you can proceed with your Be Well moment, and then you can throw it back to me for the stretch.
Great, great. Well, Cami, first off, thank you so much for this opportunity and Happy New Year to everyone. I think this is our first one for 2024, and I can't believe it's 2024. Those of you that I haven't met, my role within the organization is I am the Vice President of Human Resources for Strategy and Delivery. What exactly does that mean? At the enterprise level, I support our medical groups, our subsidiary organizations, enterprise and clinical shared services. So a pretty large portfolio within the organization. I've been in healthcare HR for 23 years. I can't believe that. And today and this opportunity to stretch with a leader and to kind of think about my own journey and what's helped me stay sane as we've went through a pandemic and a merger and we continue to grow and all that entails. This was just a really cool exercise. And Cami, do you mind if I just share my screen really quickly? Because I think I can probably tell a story better than with a few pictures. So when I think about my journey as a leader. Can you see these goats in my family? Okay, good, good. So kind of thinking about how do I stay at the top of my license? And for me, it really is about routine. And it's about the foundational aspects of my life, which are, really family, spiritual, wellness, and then once again, to just camaraderie with my family. So that's foundational. So the human beings that you see in this picture, that's my wife, Jennifer, my middle son, Tanner, and then I'm the guy at the end. These are some random goats, but one of the things that we do quite a bit of in our family is physical fitness. That's just a really kind of the cornerstone of what we do. So every day we're either doing yoga, we're skiing, we're hiking, we're lifting weights, we're climbing something, we're shooting down some river, kind of an adventurous little crew. But that really just tightens my family unit, kind of fills my spiritual bucket, if you will, and it really helps me stay grounded. And it just is routine. It's something that we do every day. And what you're seeing here is just down the road once a month. Believe it or not, we go and do goat yoga as a family, which is a lot of fun. It's not overly sanitary. I don't know if I would encourage it for the mainstream, but it is a gas. And aside from their little hard hooves stepping on your fingers, it's kind of a gas and a fun way to spend time with your family. When I think about my professional journey, let me see. I really think about healthy activities plus coworkers really drives culture, collaboration, and camaraderie. And so what you're seeing here is this is actually some time that I spent out in the Peaks region. And those of you that know Jeremy Rogers, he's the one with the bike lifted over his head. And this is our region CFO, Sean Fadden, and then Scott Peaks. And then this is actually the RMLT team from the Peaks region. And so one day we had a kind of a high level meeting about our shared services model and how we started to consolidate, which is a little tense, right? But then we bugged out of work early one afternoon and we went skiing at Eldora, which is right next to our offices here in Colorado. And then in the evenings in the summer, there was a group of us that would go mountain biking in the evening. And what I found with that is there's a lot of tension with the merger, right? And we really are rebuilding the culture of what is Intermountain 2.0. So this really helped with that. And then ultimately collaboration, whether it was on the Select Health side of my job and we were entering the market with our clinically integrated network or moving to value, it made those discussions a lot easier, easier to reach across the aisle, and then ultimately calmed me down and I think helped with my emotional well-being as we did that. And then once again, just camaraderie, relationships that we wouldn't have had we not taken the time to just slow down and to work with one another, understand each other as human beings outside of work, as opposed to just what we do with our professional lives. So I would encourage you to do that if you're not. It really has paid dividends for me. And then ultimately, this is self-visualization. This is the Billings Airport. I was there recently and gotta love Montana. They've got grizzly bears right in the airport. And if you look at the very top, it actually says, picture yourself here. And I often think about my own professional journey and what's really helped me stay at the top of my license. And it really is self-visualization, taking that time to think about my week, my month, my quarter, my year in front of me, and then replaying that in my head, right? So before I start every day, I wake up at 5:30 and I go through my calendar and I just kind of think about what are my goals for the day and then ultimately what does success look like. And then as I play with that, it really helps me become laser focused in what I need to do. And I think as I play those scenarios out of my mind, it really enhances focus and oftentimes confidence because a lot of the things we're doing either has never been tried. I'm working with teams across 3 unique regions that are individuals I've never met. Oftentimes it's virtual and sometimes not even really easy information that I'm sharing. So it requires a lot of confidence and the ability to lean into it and be sure in what it is that you're delivering. And then ultimately just clear vision. And I do find that this works not only professionally, but even with financial goals or a difficult conversation with a teenager. So I'd encourage you to try that if you don't. There's a really great book that quotes Peyton Manning and how he used to actually play all 4 quarters of every football game he ever entered before he ever started, and oftentimes led to success. So started doing that about a decade ago, and holy cow, has that paid dividends for me. And then ultimately, you got to get plenty of rest. This is our dog, Rex. He is a lazy boxer, but he reminds me to rest, right? He plays really, really hard during the day, but he always finds time to make sure that he's filling his bucket. And that actually is kind of a true north for me is sometimes before bed, turn off those blue lights, get off the computer, stop doing things that are maybe a little bit stressful and make bedtime for bedtime. And then ultimately, be safe, wear your helmet. This is my lovely spouse. This is about an hour after she hit a tree going 25 miles an hour. And had she been not wearing her helmet, it'd have been a hot mess. And once again, physical safety, but also your online safety, right? Make sure your financial well-being, make sure your teams aren't accessing things or being harassed online because being safe is really that core to the fundamental of feeling wealthy or healthy and ready to engage in the work that we do, which is challenging, but it's the right work. But that'd be my wellness moment, and this is kind of how I weave it into my daily life, Cami. Thank you for letting me share.
Thanks so much, Jim, for sharing how you fill your bucket, stay grounded, and just basically stay sane in life. I think we all have our own specific recipes, right? But there's a lot of ingredients that a lot of us can use for that. So thank you for sharing and for being with us today. Okay, we're going to transition to the stretch portion today. Go ahead and hop up, find yourself some space. I'm going to get my video spotlighted for everyone. Okay. All right, so I kind of have a little bit of a theme today for our stretches, and it has to do with hips and lower back because I have been struggling with some lower back pain recently, so I thought, well, maybe some of the things I'm doing might help some of you as well. So go ahead and take your feet a little wider than hip width apart. A lot of these I'll do like first thing in the morning when I get up and my lower back just wants to lock up and doesn't want to let me move. So go ahead and take your hands on your hips and we'll just start with some basic hip circles. So just go ahead and go one direction a few times. And then we'll go the other direction. And maybe you'll find that some of these help you like they help me, but like I said, first thing in the morning I'll do some of these because my lower back gets a little angry. Okay, so from right here, we're just gonna do some hip hinges. So just shoot your hips back, a little bit of bend in the knees, and then stand up and let your hips come forward a little ways. So we're just doing some hinging and then a little bit of extension in the back. Of course, listen to your own body. Only do what feels safe for you. Let's do one more like this. Okay, find your neutral pelvis right here in the center, and we're just gonna go into pelvic tilts. So your tailbone tilts back, and then your tailbone comes forward. So just moving your pelvis forward and back. And just notice if any of these feel good, or maybe you're like, nah, that one's not for me. Okay, go ahead and pause right here, and we're gonna go just a little further now. Those are the ones I usually just do first thing in the morning. So now we're gonna go a little deeper. So take feet a little bit wider, just a touch wider. We're gonna sit to the left, and your hands go on your left thigh. So we're gonna move into those hip circles, but now they're bigger. So from here, hips move back, and then lean to the other side, and then stand all the way up, and then repeat. Stop on the left side, hips go back, come all the way to the center, stand up, circle around, and repeat this on this side one more time. Hips back, circle around, stand up, and come down. So let's go ahead and switch sides. So switch to your right, hips go back, circle around, stand up, and come back down. We'll do it 2 more times on this side. Hips back, circle around, stand up, bring it down. This is our last one. This side, hips go back, circle around, stand up, and bring it down. Okay, go ahead and stand up. We're gonna take our feet a little closer together, not much, and then both feet are gonna turn to the right. So your toes are turning to the right here. So hands are just on either thigh. And then just start to send your left hip out to the side as your hand just reaches down until you feel your hamstring, maybe the outside of your hip a little bit. And then stand up and kind of hinge a little bit back, and then repeat it. Hips move back, and you get to decide how far your hand's gonna go down, how far you're gonna hinge, because we all have different joint shapes and iterations. So you work with what your body will let you do. Okay, let's do one more on this side. All right, go ahead and stand up, and then we're gonna turn the feet, so toes now point to the left. Same thing we just did on this side. So push your hips back, your right hip back as your hand reaches down, and then come forward on a little bit of a reverse. So you can move with that at your own speed, and just pay attention to if this side feels different than the other side. And also take some deep breaths as we're going through this. We have a tendency to hold our breath anytime we're tensing our body at all, so try and relax. And this is our last one. And come back to the center. Okay, go ahead and bring your feet in a little closer. Just do some shoulder rolls. We always have to throw a little bit of neck and shoulders in there. Then go the other direction. And then release your arms down at the side. Just shake hands out a little bit. And then relax your arms, and then we're just gonna do some real gentle ear to shoulder, side to side. And you can add whatever kind of movement you want. If you want to do circles, if you want to do chin tucks, totally up to you. This is kind of a you make your own neck stretch moment, whatever your body needs at the moment. Okay, let's finish up with a few chin to chest. So here we go, chin down to chest. Bring the head back up, and then on this one, you're just gonna hold it. So just let your head kind of hang forward. And just pause for a breath or two. And then go ahead and bring your head up gently back to the center, and then we'll pull the head back, tuck the chin in a little bit. All right, take your arms out in front, fingertips together, and then start to round through your back. Look down at the ground, pull your shoulder blades apart until you feel a really good stretch in your upper back. And then take a big inhale, stand up, send your thumbs back, lift your chest, look up at the sky. And we're gonna repeat that 2 more times, and you can go your own speed. Man, I'm finding stuff that's tight that I did not know was tight. Needed a little more stretch today. Let's do one more. All right, release arms, take a big inhale, reach up really tall, and exhale, hinge at the hips, hands come to your thighs. And then let's do one more like this. This is our last full stretch of the day. All right, you guys are all done. Thanks so much for joining today, everyone, and thanks, Jim, for your wonderful wellness moment.